Hey guys, what is going on? Rigo here, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick guide on how to use the theatre mode in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So stay tuned for everything you need to know. So just before we get into theatre mode today, can I just ask that if you enjoy the content or you find it useful, if you could hit that big red subscribe button, it will really help me out as a new channel. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is access theatre mode. So going into multiplayer, what some of you will recall from before Season 1 was implemented on Call of Duty, that the theatre mode was actually located at the bottom of the multiplayer section on the menu here, and it has obviously disappeared since Season 1 came around. So what we need to do to access theatre mode is we just need to come across to the barracks section, and as you can see we've got theatre mode at the bottom there. So what we need to do is we need to scroll down to theatre and click on it. And this has worked okay for me first time here, as you can see, but what tends to happen sometimes with theatre mode, there's a little bit of a glitch whereby when you come into the view that I've got now, it doesn't always let you navigate around your previous clips. So if this does happen, all you need to do is back out of the theatre mode and then come back across to barracks again and go back into it. Not sure why that's happening, and hopefully the devs will fix that, but it's a minor problem that can be easily worked around. So now we're in theatre mode. As you can see, we've got various clips here from previous games. So I've played a combination of Domination, Hardpoint, I've even played some of the new Prop Hunt game mode, and each of these clips will have a timestamp, so it'll let you know when it was that you played these. And that's just a nice little feature to give you a bit of reference around. So I'm going to use the Pines Domination that I played on Thursday at 4:56. So I just need to click A, and what this will do is it will start downloading the film for you to be able to play around with. It'll load up a bit of a strange screen there. As you can see, we're actually playing Mall at the Pines, but it's loaded up a different map. But it will bring you into the clip that you want. So there's various buttons that we have on the menu here, and I'm going to cover these from left to right with some variation. So the first one that we have is the left button on the touchpad there, as you can see, and what that will do is it will skip back 30 seconds. We also have the alternative, which is to skip forward, and that is also for 30 seconds by clicking right on the directional pad. So to play around with that a little bit, as you can see, I can skip forward 30 seconds each time, or I can come back. The next thing to cover is the slow down and speed up buttons that we have on the menu there. So the first one we can use by clicking LT, and just to stress that this is on Xbox, so if you have a PlayStation, you'll obviously have the equivalents for the buttons on the PlayStation controllers. So if I hold LT, what you'll see here is that the gameplay slows down to more of a bit of a slow-mo cinematic mode, which is quite cool. And we also have the alternative where we can speed up the gameplay as well to ×3 by holding RT. And as you can see, you can quickly jump from one to the other, and you can also jump back to the previous 30-second segment in your clip if you so choose. So it's very interchangeable between speeding up the play and slowing it down, and then holding neither button and just using normal gameplay mode. We also have the pause button, and that is done by pressing A, and this is just a good way of capturing some cinematic modes, which we will cover a little bit later in the video with reference to the different camera angles that you can use. So just before we come on to the different camera angles, there's a couple more buttons to cover here that you can navigate with. The first of which are the LB and RB button. So what you can do there is you can switch between the different players that are in your game. And as you can see, we've got the video paused at the moment, but I'm switching between the different players. So that's a useful thing, especially if you are playing with friends and want to make multiple clips. The other things to cover here are the toggle controls and toggle game HUD buttons. So if you hit the left stick on Xbox, you can toggle the view of the controls. So as you can see, I've hit that there, and we no longer have that view. So if we want to make a clip without the video buttons and video editing icons appearing, we can do that. I'm just going to bring that back so you can see how that works. And we can also toggle the game HUD. So the game HUD is basically the bullets down in the bottom right there, the kill streaks and the player name and that kind of thing. So hitting RS will make that information disappear. So if we want, we can toggle both of those off with the controls as well. So we just have a completely free view. So now to the really fun part of theatre mode, and that is playing around with the camera variations. So there's three types of variations, the first of which we've already been using, which is the first person view, but we also have a third person and free look view, which can be toggled by pressing the Y button on Xbox, or I would imagine the triangle button on PlayStation. So if I hit the Y button once and roll the clip, as you can see, we can now have this view of our player. You don't seem to be able to move around the camera too much other than this, so the view is a little bit limited, but it makes for some cool clips there, like for example me throwing the grenade. The really cool piece of functionality with the camera is the free view, however. So to get this, we just need to press Y again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle off the controls and the game HUD, just so you can see some really cool footage and how you can navigate around. So as you can see, I can completely follow my character or any other characters within the game. And it makes for some really cool footage. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and what you can also do is if I toggle back on the controls, you can also move the camera up and down by pressing the left bumper or the right bumper just to get those additional shots. The more you get used to the free camera view, the better, especially when using the LT button to slow down the gameplay. Which makes for some really cool cinematics, and as I say, the better you get at this, the more you'll be able to play around with it. There are a few glitches, as I mentioned earlier in the video, with this particular piece of functionality. So for example, when you are clicking some of the buttons, like if you're clicking the pause button, it won't always react immediately, and as you can see here in the clips, I'm trying to make some cool free view plays, but at certain points the player's characters are disappearing or the camera will automatically reset. So it is a little bit glitchy and you do have to work around this if you want to use it effectively, but it's a really cool tool that you can use to make some really cool shots, or if you are a YouTuber and you want to make some cool thumbnails of a close-up of a guy firing his weapon, then it's a really useful tool to use. Let me know in the comments if you've used theatre mode much, if you plan to use it, and what you think the devs could do to improve it or add some new functionality. Take care guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.